Tonight, we've got a very special Monday Night Football stream, as I'll be doing live play-by-play and commentary on both games at the exact same time. We'll talk about the Saints-Panthers and the Steelers-Browns game at the same exact time. Join me tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern, where the madness will begin. And now, on with our feature presentation. September 17th, 2023. It's week 2 of a brand new NFL season, and we've got a battle on our hands down at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta in the NFC between the Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons. This is a big game for both of these teams. Both the Packers and the Falcons are coming off of wins against divisional opponents, and both teams enter this game with identical 1-0 records. If you win this game and improve to 2-0, oh man, are you in a good spot to do something good this season. Consider this. In 2022, there were 6 teams to start the season with a perfect 2-0 record, with those teams being the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All 6 of them made the playoffs. 5 of the 7 teams to start 2-0 in 2021 made the playoffs, and 9 of the 11 teams to start 2-0 in 2020 also made the playoffs. Since the playoffs expanded to 14 teams in 2020, of the 24 teams to start 2-0, this means that 20 of them, or 83%, made the playoffs. Those are some really good odds. Obviously, there's a ton of the season left, and it's no guarantee by any means, but your odds of making the playoffs increase dramatically if you're 2 for 2 to start the year off, versus if you're just 1 for 2. So a win here would be absolutely monumental for both of these teams. And when the Packers get the ball to start the game off, they get off to a pretty good start. On the very first play from scrimmage, a pass interference penalty moves the ball 44 yards down the field. We're just 7 seconds into the game. People have not even taken their seats yet, and the Packers already have it at Atlanta's 31-yard line, already well within field goal range. Unfortunately for the Packers, the drive stalls shortly thereafter. A short run by A.J. Dillon on first down, an incomplete pass by Jordan Love on second down, a false start penalty to push the Packers back 5 yards, and then another incomplete pass by Love on third down brings up 4th down at the 33-yard line. This would be somewhere in the ballpark of a 50 or a 51-yard field goal. It stinks that you can't get a touchdown on the drive with a great field position, but at the very least, you're going to walk away with a chance at 3 points. You're going to get something on this opening drive. You're probably going to walk away with something and take the lead to start the game off.
Play clock ran all the way down.
Delay of game. Offense.
Are you kidding me? A delay of game penalty? Oh, come on, guys. That's inexcusable. You have 3 timeouts. You see the play clock winding down. And now, you're going to push it back to a 56-yard field goal attempt instead of a 51-yarder? Wow. That is insane. Holy cow. Kicker Anders Carlson definitely has his work cut out for him here, thanks to the coaching staff being idiots. But 56 yards is still more than makeable and more than doable. He's got the legs to reach her from here. We all know that. So let's see what happens next.
So now the Packers, who were in field goal range prior to the 2 penalties, will punt it away.
You're punting the football. So you had a 51-yard try. You take a delay of game penalty when you don't have to. And now you're punting the football? Why did you do any of that? From the punt to the delay of game to literally everything. Why are you doing this? Matt LaFleur, for the love of all things cheese and dairy, why are you so bad at in-game management?
Randall Whelan from midfield. End over end kick. Hughes lets it go, and it bounces into the end zone.
Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something to look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something to look awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Green Bay Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. I have to thank LaFleur from the bottom of my heart for this one. Seriously. Usually, when I'm going through and watching all the games on a given Sunday, I'm waiting for a coach to do something stupid and thinking about what the heck I'm going to do for Monday's video. Sometimes, finding a dumb decision is tougher than others, and you don't have a lot to work with, so you've got to pivot. But LaFleur, not even 5 minutes into the day, gave me my topic. He made my life so easy and made the rest of my day with this completely stress-free. The game started at 1 o'clock, and 5 minutes later, I already knew what I was going to do. That is a record speed that might never be broken again. Because yeah, this decision was truly that bad. And when you listen to LaFleur's explanation as to why he did what he did afterward, oh my, it somehow gets even worse. So with that being said, let's take a look at why taking a delay of game penalty on a 51-yard field goal attempt when you have all of your timeouts, only to then punt the ball for some reason instead of trying a 56-yard field goal, is a bad idea. First off, you have 3 timeouts in the first half for a reason. I don't know what it is that Matt LaFleur just doesn't understand that concept, seeing as last week, his clock management at the end of the first half against the Chicago Bears was so bad that the Packers ran out of time to get closer on a field goal attempt and drive down the field, leaving the half with a timeout in their back pocket. That was this close to being a dumb decisions episode. But this seems to be a common theme with him in the new year in particular, not knowing how to manage his timeouts in the first half. If the clock is running out, and you recognize this, which you should as the head coach, you should call the timeout, especially if you've made up your mind already that your kicker cannot hit from beyond 51 yards for some reason. If the difference in calling a timeout in the first half is scoring, which is the objective of the game to score points, mind you, and not scoring, then holy cow, take the timeout. There are times when taking a timeout in a delay of game situation is kind of stupid, simply because the yardage doesn't make too much of a difference based on the situation, like taking a timeout to avoid a delay of game penalty on 3rd and 35 at your own 30-yard line. There's no real point. This, quite clearly, is not one of them. In fact, this is one of the most important times that the 5 yards makes a difference. If by not taking the timeout, you are surrendering on the drive when you are literally in a position to score points, then it is really stupid to not take the timeout. If you have 2 options, and option 1 gives you a really good chance to score, and option 2 gives you no chance to score since you're not going to score on a punt, then barring some insane exception, not going with option 1 is a really bad idea. But look, you all know this already. It's not rocket science. I don't want to beat a dead horse here, even though I absolutely could because I still can't get over how dumb this was. You all probably know why taking yourself out of field goal range with a completely self-inflicted wound to then punt the football is a really bad idea. So let's hear it from LaFleur himself, the man of the hour, because understandably, especially since they lost this game by 1 point, he was questioned about this afterwards, and was asked by reporters on why he did this entire sequence. And folks, his explanation for why he did this, and then decided to punt the football, is absolutely insane. Said LaFleur on why he opted to punt the football, I kid you not, it would have been too long. Seriously. The reason why he didn't try a 56-yard field goal is that the kick would have been too long of a kick. I'm sorry, what? First off, if you were going to try a 51-yard field goal, but you were not going to try a 56-yard field goal, and you knew that, then guess what? You should take the timeout so that you don't take a delayed game penalty so that you can line up for the field goal. If you had an option to get points on the drive, and you knew from the start that you wouldn't get points at a certain yard line, then don't do the thing that pushes you back to that yard line when that is entirely in your control. If 5 yards was enough of a difference to change your mind on what to do, and it changed your mind from getting points to not getting points, then take the timeout and prevent the 5-yard penalty. I mean, my God. But number 2, you're seriously telling me that a 56-yard field goal in a dome is too long? A 56-yard field goal is out of range for your kicker, Anders Carlson? If your kicker can't hit from 56 yards in a dome in today's NFL and can't reach, I'm sorry, but they should not be in the NFL. This was not played on a windy day. This was not played in brutal conditions that made kicking the football akin to kicking a rock. This was played in a freaking dome, as in the most ideal conditions for a kicker. If you can't reach from 56, if you don't trust your kicker to hit from the 39 or 38-yard line, then why do you even have a kicker on the roster at that point? On top of that, and this is where it gets more moronic, how on earth is a 56-yard field goal too long for Anders Carlson? He literally hit from 57 yards in a preseason game, and did so at Lambeau Field, a tough stadium to kick at, since that was the 3rd longest field goal ever made in stadium history. With this kick against the Seattle Seahawks, outdoors mind you, he drilled it right down the middle with relative ease. Last week against the Chicago Bears, he lined up for a 52-yard field goal at the end of the first half, once again, kicking outdoors with wind. This kick, which was good, would have also easily been good from 56. A month ago, in practice, the man hit a 60-yard field goal with ease. Don't tell me he doesn't have the distance. Don't tell me he doesn't have the leg on a try that literally every other kicker in the league is attempting, and that you yourself would absolutely attempt if you weren't so stubborn and decided to double down on an already dumb decision. So this doubling down by LaFleur truly makes no sense. If you knew that Carlson could have hit from 56 yards, then there's a few issues here. 1, you should have taken the timeout when you had to, so you didn't put yourself out of field goal range. 2, you shouldn't have this kicker on your roster if you think your best strategy on the opening drive in the first quarter is to punt the ball inside Atlanta's 40-yard line. 3, you're just completely going against history and what everything has told you in the past. For LaFleur to double down on this decision is absolutely mind-boggling, especially when in the offseason, he literally praised Carlson's leg. Seriously, listen to what LaFleur said not even a few weeks ago about Carlson.
He's got a lot of leg, and you guys, I don't know if you get an opportunity to see that, but he's got a big-time leg, and I think it's just kind of harnessing that power and making sure it's very consistent.
So let me get this straight. You praise his leg. You say he's got a lot of power and a big-time leg. And yet, you don't trust him to hit from 51 in a dome to the point where you take the delay of game penalty and move back 5 yards, even though he has shown no evidence to the contrary, and then you punt the football from 56? Seriously, someone tell me how that makes any sense. I'm dying to know. And how is this going to impact Carlson's psyche going forward? The long-term implications of this might go past this one game. The most important thing for any kicker to have is confidence. If he doesn't have confidence and doesn't believe in himself, he's screwed. It's that simple. And now, as a rookie kicker, you've got your own head coach admitting that he had no confidence in you to try a 56-yard field goal, and no faith in you to attempt this, which just about every other kicker in the NFL would be attempting in that spot. By taking the delay of game penalty, heck, he might have been saying that we don't even have confidence in you to hit a 51-yard field goal, which is saying a lot. How can you perform well in a job that requires you to be confident in your abilities if not even your coach is confident in your abilities? Did LaFleur think about this at all? I mean, seriously. Now, this is not the first time that I've done a dumb decisions video on Green Bay Packers head coach Matt LaFleur, and a decision that he made that ultimately cost his team the game. A while ago, at the 2020 NFC Championship, I did a dumb decisions video about his controversial decision to kick the field goal down by 8 points with about 3 minutes left and the Packers in the red zone, knowing that they probably wouldn't get to touch the ball again. You can learn more about that by clicking the card in the upper right corner. However, at least with that, there are some people that defend that. But here, in the game between these two teams behind me, I honestly don't know a single person who can defend this. I honestly don't. So to take the delay of game penalty on a 51-yard field goal try, to then move back 5 yards, to then punt the football because you don't trust your kicker to make a 56-yard field goal because he can't reach, even though it's in a dome, and even though he literally can reach. Good job, LaFleur. You really nailed that one. So what do we learn from all of this? You have 3 timeouts for a reason. They don't carry over to the next half or the next game. You can't exchange them for currency or a prize at Dave & Buster's. So use them! Use your freaking timeouts! Especially when it's the difference between scoring and not scoring. If you don't trust your kicker to hit from 56 yards out in a dome, then you shouldn't have that kicker on the roster. If you don't trust your kicker to hit from 56 yards out, and you have a chance to prevent that kicker from trying a 56-yard field goal and to try something closer, then do that. And when you've got a legitimately good chance to take points, passing that up for a guaranteed goose egg on the drive in the first quarter is a horrible, horrible idea. Because when all of these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Get your official Jaguar Gear 9 merchandise by going to jj9shop.com, and be sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out a lot. Join me every Wednesday night where we'll play NFL Trivia for cash prizes at 9 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. To learn more about the history of college football, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 8. To learn more about the history of Major League Baseball, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 7. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters for helping out the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. See how you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.